Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Voiddyn and today we're going to be talking about a little bit different of a control list. We're going to be talking about Iron Thorns EX. Are you tired of playing Pokemon with, running multiple Pokemon and not just running one Pokemon? Well, Iron Thorns is here to fix it. Iron Thorns EX is a future Pokemon with 230 HP and the ability Initialization. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, Pokemon with a rule box in play, both yours and your opponent's, have no abilities except for future Pokemon. This counts, EXs, this counts Vs, things of the sort. So our whole entire deck here is we're basically a control deck that looks to shut down abilities of most important Pokemon in the format. We have other couple tricks that we usually use, but we're going to be an attacking control list. Now, the main thing about Iron Thorns EX is we get to attack with the attack Volt Cycle. You move an energy from this Pokemon to one of your benched Pokemon and it attacks for 140. The idea is that you keep an Iron Thorns in the active at all times, you're unable to get bossed because you have another Iron Thorns in the bench, and you take advantage of this card right here, Future Booster Energy Capsule, which allows you to have no retreat cost and deal 20 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. We are using double turbo energy, which will reduce the cost of our attacks by 20, but hopefully by using this card, we're able to mitigate that as well and deal a bunch more damage at the end of the day. So, what's the main game plan? The main game plan is to stick an Iron Thorns in the active, use interactions such as Crushing Hammer to remove energies from your opponent's Pokemon, do things such as Pokémon Catcher to disrupt and bring Pokemon that they don't want into the active and get knockouts, play stuff as Lost City to remove stuff that would normally be going to the discard, and, just kind of keep yourself going. We also play Devolution as well, because there are a lot of rare candy decks in the format, and what Devolution allows you to do is it allows you to set up some damage on your opponent's Pokemon, de-evolve it, and, kind of just get the quick knockout. Now, this might be one of those more annoying decks that people play in the format, but I love Quad Thorns. Quad Thorns is one of my favorite decks that exists right now. And honestly, I'm excited to play it more in paper, especially with the new set coming up soon. So let's get into a couple games and we'll talk about Iron Thorns. This is going to be more of a boring talk-through list. If you don't like control, this may not be for you. But overall, I think this is probably one of the cooler control decks in the format. So it looks like we want to go first here, right? We want to get ourselves set up. We do want that ability to use a supporter and, energy turbo when we can. But, we're kind of okay just shutting down abilities and attacking when we can as well. Now, it looks like we had no basic again, like last time. Let's hope that our opponent doesn't draw 13 cards on top of what's normally going on. But we'll take advantage of that, as needed. They do have something to start up right away. Okay, look, you know what? I will take 2 mulligans after 13 beforehand. Our hand's pretty okay. We do start with a basic energy and energy lotto as well to try to find us that double turbo. And we have things such as Professor's Research, Boss's Orders, and other things as well to kind of get stuff started. They are playing Terapagos, which is pretty okay for us. We're going to sit here, we're going to leave Iron Thorns in the active, and just hope for the best. Now, they do get to take advantage of a bunch of cards in the format for Terapagos, such as Noctowl, such as some other stuff too. They do get to do Fan Rotom, they do get to do Duskull shenanigans, so we're going to have to be very aggressive in attempting to knock out my opponent's Pokemon. So, we will do things such as Boss's Orders, up that Duskull, try to get a knockout if we can, and also try to stop them from using supporters and things of the sort. They are also putting down Pidgey and Hoot Hoot and things of the sort, right? Really trying to get all this energy or this engine set up. So we'll have to definitely knock out that Duskull ASAP. Now, Terapagos definitely cannot attack this turn because it is their first turn. But we do see an Area 0 Underdepths here. Our goal is to kind of knock out the stadium, knock out the amount of damage they can do, and really just shut everything down here. They're going to flood out more with more like Hoot Hoots, more Duskulls, right? they're going to try to get that evolution out ASAP. And they want to be able to take advantage of the Hoot Hoots too with the Noctowls. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to Energy Lotto here. We did not find anything here. So we are going to Professor's Research our hand away, because we want to see as many cards as possible. And we did see a little bit more here, right? We are able to Lost City here to really get something out of the active. We can also attach DTE to attack, right? So let's get Pokemon out. Let's make my opponent have to choose what they want to do here. We will hold stuff as soon as possible, attach there, and then we are going to simply Vault Cyclone. We don't have anything on the bench to put energy on, so we should be okay. I feel like this is personally a little bit worse of a matchup for us, but, I mean, it's nothing that we can't get through with proper play. Here comes the Noctowl in. Because they do have a Terra Pokemon in the active, they can search for a trainer card right away. I'm pretty sure that they're searching for another stadium to put on their... Or they're searching for a rare candy or something to set up a Pidgeot EX. But, you know, we'll have to wait and see how it goes. Okay, it looks like they got the Area 0 Underdepths as well as the Feather Ball, which will allow them to get more... to get essentially that Pidgeot that they need to further push out more of their bench. They have the rare candy as well to get that Pidgeot out there. Now, obviously, we're looking to not get knocked out this turn. They do what? They go for 30 times the number of bench Pokemon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see. What do they go up to? They go up to 8. 8 times 30. 8, 16, 24. They do get a knockout with that and Duskull, if they are able to fully populate the bench and get the evolution onto the Dusclops. But I'm not quite sure we're going to be seeing that just yet. We also will be able to bump the Area 0 Underdepths again because we have 2 cards in our hand that will help us do that. Along with that, we do also want to get an energy knockout soon. I'm sorry, an energy discard soon with something like Enhanced Hammer or things of the sort. We also do get to possibly deal a ton of damage to the Pidgeot with things like the Future Booster Energy Capsule and like a Boss's Orders or something as well. But they don't get to search with the Pidgeot because we are Iron Thorns. That is something that I forgot about. We can also de-evolution too if we need to, but let's see if my opponent does not. My opponent does not have the Dusclops to get the quick knockout. I'm curious to see how they're going to get out of this situation. Pheasantipity in there. A lot of energy is being turned off, like the Blood Moon Ursaluna. So they're not just going to simply be able to take a knockout that way. Okay, we might be okay here. What we need to do is, we need to get a second Iron Thorns ready to get set up ASAP. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're probably going to Town Store to knock this out. The second thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to probably want to get a Future Booster Energy Capsule on both my current Iron Thorns and a second one that I'm going to get through the Arven. Right? So Arven's going to get me something like Turbo Radar and then Turbo Energize, right? We're going to end up discarding the Turbo Energize because we do not need it right now, right? So we'll discard the Turbo Energize because of the fact that we're going to be moving stuff over anyway. Right? So we'll play this Iron Thorns here. Let's Town Store. And with the Town Store, we're going to grab a Future Booster Energy Capsule. And we'll put that here. And then we will attack here to get the knockout on the Terapagos. Right? And we're going to move the double Turbo Energy onto our bench. And we'll get 2 prizes off of that. See, guys, a lot of this is able to be recovered from. We were in a very scary position, but because we are shutting down a lot of energy-based or sorry, abilities of EXs and things of the sort, while Terapagos does hit for a huge amount, it's not enough to really KO us. We did lose the Dusclops there, or Duskull. I'm sorry, Dusknoir. So they go there down the town store just to search through their deck to see if they have anything there. Doesn't really look like that they have much. We can also kind of put them in a weird position by de-evolving their Pidgeot if we really want to. But I'd rather just attack. They do get to draw off the or they do not get to draw off the Pheasantipity, because Flip the Script does not do anything with Iron Thorns in play. So that gives us another target to eventually boss up and just attack. I'm very interested to see how, now that they didn't have that one-hit knockout, how they recover versus us just being able to constantly move forward. They're Turoing their own Terapagos. I'm curious if they're going to put up like a one-prizer or something. Oh, they're putting up Blood Moon Ursaluna. Okay. That's fine. Now, we can theoretically Pokemon Catcher it back out. So, let's bring up the Pidgeot. I want to be able to also get myself an energy, which we can do with Earthen Vessel, and then our tool can be the Future Booster Energy Capsule. So we'll put another guy out here. Now, we do have free retreat, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use Earthen Vessel, discard the other Iron Thorns because I don't really need it right now, get 2 energy to hand, right? Then we'll attach here, right? Retreat here, bring up this Iron Thorns, and then deal 280 to the active, which is perfect for us to get 2 more prize cards, and then we'll move... We do have another Lightning in hand, so let's move another... energy onto here, onto the Iron Thorns on the bench. Right, and the idea is that we're kind of like move them around as we need, because really we have more than enough energy as we currently sit. Right, this double turbo energy is like rough for us, but we have a basic energy in hand, so we can just simply retreat them, put out the basic energy, get the knockout, and we're all set. We also have a Boss's Orders in hand too, so we can get another knockout on something that's weak to electric. But it looks like that there's not much else weak to electric. Also, they can't just simply use Dusclops or Dusknoir to get a knockout here. So we'll retreat here, bring up this guy, bring up... Okay, and with that, they gave the concede. Again, a lot of it is just remembering that abilities don't work under Iron Thorns, right? Honestly, I thought we were in a lot worse position than we actually were. And that just comes from not having as much experience with Iron Thorns. But again, the deck is really cool. As you can see, you attack to win. You get all the stuff. Like, you know, all like the controlling stuff like Pokemon Catcher, like Crushing Hammer, like Enhanced Hammer. So it's definitely like my control deck of choice. With this, I don't want to go first just because I want to be able to set up. And a lot of setup is getting that town store out there to be able to, you know, get those Future Booster Energy Capsules and other things of the sort going. I do really like starting Iron Thorns here as well. I like also grabbing Arven and some things too, like Arven grabbing like, you know, our second and third Iron Thorns. I would like to be able to grab a tool, which is Future Booster Energy Capsule, or even Turbo Energize. So what we might do is we might grab a Techno Radar off of Arven, discarding something else to allow us to get another Iron Thorns onto the bench, and then, you know, use Turbo Energize to get those energies out there. Now, the really funny thing is that a lot of people don't realize is that Iron Thorns hits Radiant as well, because Radiant has a rule box. So, my opponent's kind of in an unfortunate situation. So, let's Arven here, and we're going to Arven and start with Techno Radar, and we will also grab this Turbo Energize. Now, I don't believe I need to discard a lightning energy, but I will anyway. Let's get ourselves some 2 Turbo Thorns out into hand. We'll put one here. And now I can easily just simply, you know, set myself up, put 2 out there. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm only going to leave 2 out here so that I don't get ourselves into a unique situation where I cannot retreat a Pokemon. But we are able to attack next turn. We have the second one ready to go. We have a Judge to kind of lock my opponent down into not drawing cards, hopefully not being in a situation where they can just simply outcard advantage us. Iron Thorns wins by, you know, simply taking it slow and saying, look, you know, I'm not going to be able to use abilities. Don't put Pokemon down that really could lose you the game. Iridia comes out. Iridia's probably finding them. Now, I'm curious if Iridia is going to find them Palkia or not. We'll see where it goes. Chien-Pao. Okay, my opponent's playing Chien-Pao, which is fine. Problem is that Iron Thorns kind of shuts that down because they're unable to find another Pokemon. Or, I'm sorry, Chien-Pao gets shut down because they're unable to find water energy here. So my goal is to find a boss's orders and to just start hitting things that, you know, start hitting the Chien-Pao, start hitting, you know, hit the Baxcalibur, you know, get stuff out of the, you know, get their engine out of play, right? And we can do that by doing Judge and other stuff too. So we have a Lost Vacuum. Now again, I'm going to try to boss's order something up here, but I do only have a Penny, which is okay. Penny gets us out of an unfortunate situation if we run into one, but for the time being, I am going to Judge us because we don't need anything else here. Maybe I will get a Crushing Hammer or something of the sort. Hey, there's a Crushing Hammer. And we also have a Pokemon Catcher. We flip tails on the Pokemon Catcher. That's fine. Let's try to flip on the heads on the Crushing Hammer, which is good. So we got rid of that water. And honestly, I'm kind of fine here just taking the knockout on the Barrel because then they have actually no draw power right now. They're unable to draw to, you know, get out of their Judge card situation. And another Crushing Hammer there too. Hopefully we can get another heads on that Crushing Hammer. Now, if I'm my opponent, right, maybe not put out Radiant Greninja, maybe put out a Frigibax, unless they think that I'm going to start sniping Frigibax. I'm not quite sure. Pokestop coming down, which is pretty good for me too, right? Like, you know, while I personally may not be going for Pokestop in my list, right, because it helps my opponents out a lot, I personally really like Pokestop here. Let's see. They'll probably be grabbing more draw cards if they can off the Buddy Buddy Poffin. Or, yeah, there's another Bidoof, right? Bidoof's like their only draw advantage here. So, like, you know, our goal is to not rock the boat if we don't need to. There's another Lightning Energy. We'll do that. Let's flip a Crushing Hammer. There's the heads on the Crushing Hammer. Let's remove that Bidoof. Now, I kind of want to see if I can get a boss's orders to get that Bidoof, which I do, right? So let's pull up the Bidoof. And then let's spin the Pokestop just to see if I can get some more stuff. Obviously, hit 3 trainers is pretty rough. But, you know, we'll just take the knockout on the Bidoof. We'll move a Lightning Energy here. Right? At this point, we could start setting up a second Iron Hands if we really feel like it. But, like, we absolutely do not need to. I think our goal right now is to get ourselves a energy capsule to be able to switch this Iron Thorns out of the active and be able to get a, you know, get the quick switcheroo back and forth, right? There's an Enhanced Hammer coming out. Enhanced Hammer might be a little bit rough for us, right? The Enhanced Hammer hit the energy on the Iron Thorns, but, you know, we'll see how it goes. I'm not too worried about it. I'm kind of curious what else they have. Like, I'd prefer to hit a Judge if I could to get them out of their really awkward situation. Although, you know, there's a world where I hit Frigibax instead. Okay. Now, Iron Thorns is not able to attack next turn, which is okay, right? So, like, we'll research, right? I mean, we could always Judge. But they haven't played anything, right? So, okay. So, this is something that's super important. If your opponent's not doing much, don't judge them. Right? They're already doing enough. So, now we have a... we have ourselves a Capsule, so we don't need to do much there. We do hit for 140, right? So let's Pokemon Catcher, see if we can hit ourselves a Frigibax. We cannot, which is okay, right? We'll just simply hit here, right? We'll Volt Cyclone. Get the quick knockout. No need to spin a Pokestop. It does nothing for us here. We just have to slow and steadily get KOs. Right? They have no energy in hand. They have no nothing. We just simply Crushing Hammer, take a knockout, move forward. Crushing Hammer, take a knockout, move forward. Because they are currently not ramping. They have a superior energy retrieval, which is fine. Right? It doesn't really bother us at all. They can get a bunch of energy into hand. Maybe they get a ramp off here or there. You know, they're able to knock out one Iron Thorns, but I don't believe they'll be able to constantly knock out for us. Iron Bundle here. They might Iron Bundle out our second Iron Thorns because it does less damage, but I do not think they're going to bother. There is a Lost City there, which is super important for us. So let's get rid of that energy with Crushing Hammer, right? And then we're going to Lost City, right? And then we just simply take the knockout here with Volt Cyclone. And now it's giving me a warning. It's saying, hey, if you want, you can simply, you know, you can still attach energy, but we really don't need to at this point. We just simply take our knockouts and move on. There's no reason to hold them there for longer than it needs to be. Now, we have one unfortunate situation here as we sit in the active and we don't have a second energy booster capsule. Every time we get a knockout, we have to move energy off, which means that we have to attach, and a lot of energy is going down onto the board. Now, is this a big deal? Not as much, but you just have to be conservative, right? Don't attach when you don't need to, because if you attach early, then you'll be in a situation where you move all the energy off your Iron Thorns, and you're not able to attack whatsoever. We do have a de-evolution here just in case they do get, you know, into a position where they are... we have a de-evolution just in case they get the Baxcalibur out through something like, you know, through something like Rare Candy, right? We can de-evolve, knock it back up. They don't have a second Rare Candy. We're fine. We're still pretty much fine overall. We're actually looking for a boss's orders to hit any of their one prizers. So anything like that helps. Again, this deck is very much slow and steady. Take knockouts, you know, work with your opponent, not having interaction, right? Hitting those Crushing Hammers, right? It is not worth spending all of this time when you don't need to. Now, we're retreating now just because the fact that we can, you know, do a little bit more afterwards. We want to be able to move stuff to the back. We don't want to get stuck, right? And we're not getting stuck by moving energy around, moving it off of our active, right? We also have the free retreater there. So, like, that's really the reason why we retreated there. I feel bad for my opponent because, you know, Chien-Pao is one of those that does not play well into Iron Thorns because you have a lot of dependencies there, right? Like discard, you know, like Radiant Greninja, Fezandipity, all that other stuff. There's a ton of reliance on being able to draw cards. Like, now my opponent just grabbed Pheasantipity, but Pheasantipity doesn't do anything for them here. One, because they didn't have anything knocked out. Two, because the fact that, like, you know, it's just not a really good situation here. Now, here's an Arven, right? Do we have a Prime Catcher in the deck left? We do have a Prime Catcher, and we have a Future Booster Energy Capsule, right? So we'll bring up this guy, because we're just going to knock it out. Right, and we didn't do anything besides, you know, we didn't hold them there for too long. We just simply got knockouts. You know, we controlled where we could. A lot of playing control is just making sure that you don't hold your opponent there for way too long. You know, you want to try to be polite. You want to be like, hey, look, you know, I knocked out your thing. Let's keep going. You know, especially because when you sit down in a tournament setting, one of the biggest things that you're going to lose to is your opponent taking too much time to take their actions. So. And we'll go one more round of Iron Thorns before we call it for today. But overall, I really think that Iron Thorns is like my preferred way to play control. I know that there's a lot of other ways that people have said to play control, but, you know, this is definitely the best. Looking back at Iron Thorns overall, I think our worst case scenario is exactly what happened before, right? We don't draw an Iron Thorns in the opener, and they draw 13 cards, and you have to find a way to play out of it. But I'm kind of okay with that too. Again, like we talked about earlier, my plan is to just Arven here, attach an energy, get a radar, get some stuff onto the bench, and go from there. Fortunately, I don't know if my opponent realizes this, but Iron Thorns does shut down Charizard. I don't know. We'll see how it goes, right? So I don't want to play my Stadium here until I absolutely need to. So let's go with Techno Radar, and let's go with... Oh, we don't have... we do not have an Energy. We don't have a Turbo Energize. Not having a Turbo Energize, I think that switches our play. I think we go for an Earthen Vessel, and then we go for a Future Booster Energy Capsule. Reason being is that I don't want to get stuck right here. So let's get rid of... let's get rid of the Lost City, because I don't believe they are playing anything else currently that, like, needs to be knocked out, that needs to be bumped, things of the sort. Okay, we'll stop there, right? We have the DTE attached. We have the Energy Capsule attached. If they somehow get a knockout on us this turn, then so be it. That's just how life is, right? But I don't believe we're going to be knocked out here. Okay. Artisan coming out. Artisan's going to be pretty good for them because they will be able to get more Pokemon out onto the bench. I don't know what they're looking to get. Maybe, okay, it looks like to be another Charmander, you know, as they evolve up and they get themselves the Charizard and as well as the Pidgeot EX. I don't mind the call for family here, right? You know, gets themselves very much set up here. But I am going to try to get the... Oh, they have no basics left in deck? Interesting. Okay. Well, either way, I would like to be able to get a knockout on something here. But before that, let's Arven. I would like to be able to get myself set up with a second Pokemon. I'm also going to grab a Devolution too, just in case. I don't think I need to just this very second, but I want to get myself ready for it. Let's get rid of the Lost Vacuum because we don't exactly need that right now. I'll put 2 Iron Thorns in the hand because I do not want to draw another one, right? And then I'll attach here, and let's just simply Volt Cyclone. There's another world where we could have, you know, judged and gotten ourselves ready for, you know, who knows what. Like, we could have judged, or we could have Crushing Hammered to get rid of the energy on the Charmander, but I don't really think we need to. I think we're at the point where we're far enough ahead that we simply just want to try to take knockouts. We want to stop them from getting energy onto their Charmander, or onto their Charizard EXs. And the way to do that is going to be through, you know, just simply hoping and praying that we can, you know, attach. Or, I'm sorry, that we can bounce things and, like, technical machine de-evolution, etc., etc. I'm excited to see more, bouncing through technical machine de-evolution and kind of just... Sorry, hold on 1 second. Let's Crushing Hammer before we do anything else. Okay, we will get the energy off the bench. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that you don't have Charizard EX's ability anymore, and because you don't have Charizard EX's ability to worry about anymore, we're kind of at the point where we just start taking knockouts. So, because I know that they can't do double knockout in a turn, I want to boss's orders and bring up the Charmander, because I kind of want them to do the Pidgeot, because we will get a knockout on the Pidgeot if we go forward with that. We'll attach another Lightning Energy there, because we can always retreat into it, right? And we drew into that other Lightning Energy, so we could just put that into the active, right? Although I guess that was a waste of a Crushing Hammer, but I'm not too worried about it. There's also a world where... Like, I'm a little hesitant to... Okay, my opponent conceded. That's fine. We'll go one more round just to, you know, really solidify the Iron Thorns matchup. Essentially, guys, you just want to take advantage of the fact that their abilities are shut off and that we get to take knockouts, right? And we get to remove energy off the board and we get to, you know, kind of just vibe the whole entire way. We did kind of, you know, really dominate when we were, you know, taking knockouts on stuff against that Charizard list, right? Because of the fact that we wouldn't allow them to keep energy on board, we were able to stop knockouts. Now, one of your biggest opponents in this list is, you know, the Canceling Cologne, right? Let me go first here. Just because I want to show off going first. Obviously, okay. My opponent looks like they're playing, like, Arceus Charizard. Which is a little weird, but, like, you know what? Whatever. Like, it might be the normal Charizard, not Charizard EX. I'm sorry, it might be Fire Charizard EX, not Dark Charizard EX. It's a little rough with the Terras and things of the sort. I think my opponent's trying to figure out what I'm playing. The good news is that, you know, energy denial works pretty okay against Arceus if you're able to deny on the Arceus itself. Cool, and just like that, we're easily able to set up. We don't really have much else to do besides get ready for the second turn, right? So we'll attach probably a Lightning Energy to Iron Thorns. I'm trying to think if they play a Fire Energy. I don't think they do. Or I'm sorry, not a Fire Energy. Enhanced Hammer. I don't think they do. But what I am going to do is I am going to Radar, discarding the Penny because we probably will not be using the Penny now. Get ourselves 2 Iron Thorns. Put 1 in the active. Attach a double Turbo Energy onto the Iron Thorns. Now, if my opponent plays an Enhanced Hammer, I am, like, SOL, right? Like, I'm in a very bad position if the Enhanced Hammer comes out here. But I'm going to, you know, take it on good authority that they are not playing Enhanced Hammer. Very cool and weird renditions of Arceus decks going around. As a huge Arceus fan, you love to see it. Now, it's like, looking at what we're doing going forward, right? We're kind of in a very unique situation because we're going to be a little bit slow here. Oh, they're playing Xerosix Machinations? Okay. Are they playing, like, a weird Charizard control list? They're probably playing Charizard EX and things of the sort. Well, I'm going to take advantage of this by bosses ordering this Charmander, and we're just going to take a knockout. And then I'll also probably grab the research. My hand's like not that needed right now, and my opponent's isn't as great either, so let's do the knockout here. And then we'll move the lightning energy onto the back because we have a lightning energy in hand. Right, so like sequencing for that is that whenever you have the special energy out ahead on the Iron Thorns and something on the back, basically just make sure you know what's in your hand before you move energies, right? So like if I had another double turbo energy on the bench or in hand, I could move my double turbo energy back and vice versa. Now my opponent's playing Lugia V here, which is a little weird. I wasn't expecting them to play Lugia V. I think I still Professor's Research here. I really, really wish that I had a boss, but like, you know, we can't always get what we want here, right? I'm gonna put a energy booster capsule here, and then I am going to simply Volt Cyclone. So we will eventually get a knockout here. Now I have a DTE in hand, right? We have one right here. So we know we can move one back safely. And I know that I discarded a bunch earlier too. So like, you know, just be proactive and know what you're moving around. So Lost City can come down to really get people stuck, but I don't know what the heck my opponent's playing. My opponent might be playing like one of Lugia V-Star, but why? What does Lugia V-Star do for you that... I guess it deals 220 to sit and then gets stuff back. Maybe gets Arceus V-Star back. But like, I don't think you need Arceus V-Star back. But they don't have a... It needs to not have a rule box. So you can't be playing it to get Arceus V-Star back. Interesting. Okay. Well, what I will do here is I'm going to play this Lost City. And I'm going to just simply get the knockout on Arceus V-Star. Now, I kind of want to be able to move stuff around in a little bit, so we'll put a lightning back here. I have another lightning here that we can move around, but, you know, we'll keep pushing forward before we really care about energy management with that. We also do have an Arven now, which allows us to do a little bit more, right? If we want to, you know, Prime Catcher and do some Prime Catcher shenanigans, we can too. Especially because Lugia V-Star is weak to lightning, right? So, you know, with this DTE... we cannot get the knockout, just the straight one-for-one knockout, which is fine. Again, I don't know what my opponent's doing. But then again, part of me wonders if... like, I need to see what Charizard they're looking to play before I can really decide on what they're doing. We'll just attach an energy here. And then I think I'm just going to Arven, and we're going to try to get ourselves set up a little bit better. I will grab another booster. And then I guess I'm just going to Crushing Hammer, right? Because we want to get energy off the board whatever way possible, right? We failed the Crushing Hammer, which is fine. Oh, no, we do get the knockout here. We get exacts on the knockout because the DTE and the Capsule both work into each other. Now, what's in hand here? We don't have an energy in hand that we really want to move around, but we'll move one anyway. And then this one will retreat into the other one next turn. I think we're okay. As long as we're able to retreat, I think we'll be fine. We did end up shutting down some stuff, right? We did end up shutting down the Arceus V-Star ability, as well as the Lugia V-Star ability. Hey, there's the Charizard EX. That's good, but they don't get to ramp, right? So Infernal Rain, which allows them to attach 3 basic fire energy from their deck to a Pokemon, does not work with Iron Thorns in play, because Iron Thorns shuts down rule box Pokemon. You know, it feels good to be able to do that, but also feels real bad too, because you don't want to shut down someone's day, but like, come on, let's be honest. That's the reason why we're playing Quad Thorns, right? We want to be able to stop my opponent from playing the game effectively. So I'm going to do something a tiny bit different here. I'm going to get ready to play something a little bit different, right? I'm not going to put the de-evolution out just yet, but what I will do is I will attack here. We're going to attack with Volt Cyclone, and then I'm going to move the energy onto the other Iron Thorns because my goal is to attack, retreat with Technical Machine de-evolution, de-evolve that Charizard to take my last prize. Right, you don't want to put down Technical Machines right away because they fall off at the end of turn. Hey, look, there's the boss's orders. I'm guessing they're going to boss his orders. Yep, the one that we wanted up anyway because Tech Machine de-evolution. I really hope my opponent lets me pull off the play. Totally understand if they don't want to because this is kind of a miserable matchup for my opponent, especially when they were trying to do something cool. But you know, it is what it is. And just like we wanted to do, here's the de-evolution. We're going to use the de-evolution to de-evolve the Charizard EX into Charmeleon. 140 is more than enough to take the knockout. And with that, we'll take our final prize card. Okay, guys, so let's talk a little bit about the deck, and let's wrap it up as, you know, we've been playing today. Obviously, it is a deck. Iron Thorns EX is a deck that, you know, is all about locking down your opponent, controlling the board, and attacking to take knockouts. Whenever you have the chance to move energy, just be aware of what your board state is and what energies you have in hand. Right? If you have a double turbo in hand, feel free to move the double turbo off the Iron Thorns EX. If you have capsules in play, don't be afraid to move something to a backline, retreat to the other one that has a capsule, and then attack with that the next turn and just loop it back and forth, right? Keep going. And then along with that, for your turn one plays, you want to play something like, you know, if you're never going to be attacking turn one as Iron Thorns anyway, so you might as well go Iron Thorns in the active, use Arven to find something like Techno Radar onto the bench, put a second one onto the bench, and then use Turbo Energize to get those energies onto your second Iron Thorns EX. That is probably the best turn one play that you can do. Obviously, you know, results may vary. So overall, do I suggest playing this deck? Yes, this deck is super rad, and definitely a deck that I'm probably going to play at my locals and terrorize for a little bit. This is also a deck that you can bring to things such as regionals, and cups and challenges. Just make sure that, you know, you call time on your opponent because you are more likely to lose to your opponent not calling, or your opponent playing slow than you playing slow. Guys, that's it for the channel, or wow, that's it for the video today. My name's Voiddyn. I will see you guys soon. If you like this video or you hate Iron Thorns, drop a comment down below. Let me know how you feel about this type of list. And honestly, guys, I'll talk to you soon. So have a great day. Bye-bye.